Elephants are not only the largest land mammals that ever existed, but they're also some of the most intelligent animals alive today. They're incredibly social creatures with complex communication methods, emotions, and even self-awareness. And if they were to be transported back in time to the age of dinosaurs, they would certainly have a lot to offer. But what about the flip side? If elephants had evolved alongside dinosaurs, would they have been just as smart? Or would the prehistoric world have changed them in some way? Let's take a look at the life of dinosaurs and find out exactly how elephant behavior might change in the Cretaceous. Welcome to Paleo Logic. Today we're answering a rather unusual question. What would elephants be like if they lived during the Cretaceous? There are already a ton of videos on this channel and others covering how dinosaurs would adapt to modern times. So we figured it was time to switch things up and explore what some modern animals would be like. If they lived alongside the kings of the prehistoric world, elephants are highly dependent on water, and thus in the Cretaceous they would almost definitely live near rivers and lakes. This would force them to live alongside other aquatic animals such as crocodiles, but it wouldn't all be bad. After all, there would be plenty of vegetation along riverbanks for an elephant herd to eat. If we take a look at the environment during the Cretaceous, it's easy to imagine elephants thriving. The climate was much warmer than today, which means more plants could grow in more places. And elephants love plants, especially woody plants like acacia trees, which likely grew in abundance. Of course, there would also be the problem of competition. The Cretaceous was full of large herbivores, such as sauropods and ornithischians. However, elephants would have a few advantages over most of these animals. Not only were elephants smarter than most dinosaurs, but they would also have access to tools. There is evidence that some dinosaurs used tools, but elephants would definitely be capable of using stones for cracking nuts or as weapons against predators. Additionally, elephants could use their tusks and trunks in ways that no other animal of the time could. An elephant's tusks could easily serve as both a weapon and a tool. And their trunk would allow them to pick up food that was too high or too far away for other herbivores to get. It would also help them drink water and snuff out fires, giving them yet another advantage over their competitors. But it's not all sunshine and rainbows for our prehistoric pachyderms. There were also predators that would happily hunt elephants if given the chance. During the Cretaceous, there were meat-eating dinosaurs from small raptors to gigantic tyrannosaurs. Even the smallest of these predators would be able to cause serious damage to an elephant, and a group of them could easily take down one of the largest animals that ever lived. Elephants do have some tricks up their sleeves to defend themselves, such as stamping with their feet, swinging their tusks, and squirting water. But no matter how useful these may be, elephants would likely still be targeted by the apex predators of the Cretaceous. The constant threat of being hunted would likely change elephant behavior in several ways. First of all, elephants are naturally very curious, but that curiosity could prove fatal in the Cretaceous. One wrong step and a hungry predator could be upon them before they even knew what happened. Thus, prehistoric elephants would likely be more cautious than their modern counterparts. Secondly, elephants are generally peaceful creatures, but they can be extremely aggressive towards anyone or anything that threatens their children. In a world where their young were constantly in danger of being eaten, elephants would be forced to defend their young even more fiercely than they do today. Finally, elephants are highly dependent on their memory. They use it to remember where they've seen other elephants, where they've seen food, and most importantly, where they've seen predators. Thus, if elephants evolved in the Cretaceous, they would likely have even better memories than they do now. Another thing that would greatly affect elephant behavior in the Cretaceous is their social structure. Elephants live in herds led by a dominant male. Females and their young stay with the herd, while the males leave when they reach maturity. But during the Cretaceous, this behavior could change. Males are significantly larger than females and are needed to protect the herd from predators. So if males were taken away from the herd, they would be much more vulnerable. Thus, it's possible that adult males would stay with the herd for longer, perhaps even for the entirety of their lives. Another possibility is that herds would become significantly smaller, making it easier for them to defend themselves from predators. Of course, this could have negative consequences. For example, if two herds split up, then the males of each herd could fight each other to determine dominance. And the larger the herd, the more food that needs to be consumed, meaning there would be more competition for plants. So it's possible that instead of having multiple herds of elephants close together, you would have many small herds spread out over large distances. If you thought this scenario was fascinating, please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. Every like brings us one step closer to reaching our goal of 1 million subscribers. And don't forget to check out our recent video on what the Jurassic world would be like if humans lived there. You might find it just as entertaining. Even though elephants would have been successful during the Cretaceous, they would have been nothing compared to the most successful animals of the era, the dinosaurs. Dinosaurs quickly became the apex predators of Earth after they first appeared. And with good reason. Their incredible size and strength made them perfectly suited to life on land. They were also warm-blooded, meaning they could run faster and live in colder climates. Finally, dinosaurs came in all shapes and sizes, meaning they were able to fill almost every niche in the ecosystem. One of the most famous groups of dinosaurs were the theropods. These included some of the largest and most fearsome carnivores that ever lived, such as Tyrannosaurus Rex and Spinosaurus. Theropods were also responsible for the first bird-like dinosaurs, which eventually gave rise to modern birds. Theropods first appeared during the Triassic period and lasted until the end of the Cretaceous. This means they were around for a whopping 180 million years. During this time, they diversified and adapted to all environments on Earth. Some were small and feathered, while others were gigantic and scaly. But no matter what they looked like, theropods were undoubtedly one of the most successful groups of animals to ever live on Earth. One of the main reasons for the success of theropods was their incredible adaptations. They were constantly evolving and changing, which allowed them to survive in a variety of environments and climates. Take, for example, the feathers that many theropods developed. These feathers helped them stay warm in cold climates and also made them more aerodynamic, allowing them to run faster and more efficiently. Another adaptation that helped theropsids succeed was their intelligence. They had relatively large brains compared to their body size, which allowed them to be more cunning and adaptable than other animals. For example, they were able to develop complex hunting strategies and also use tools in some cases. However, despite their success, theropods would not be able to survive the mass extinction at the end of the Cretaceous period. This event, which is commonly known as the Cretaceous-Paleogene extinction event, is believed to have been caused by the impact of a large asteroid or comet. This impact caused massive destruction and ecological chaos, leading to the extinction of many animal and plant species. Theropods, along with the dinosaurs, were among the most notable victims of this event. Despite their many adaptations and successful reign on Earth, they were unable to overcome this catastrophic event. And here we come to the end of another exciting episode. We hope you enjoyed learning more about the fascinating world of dinosaurs and prehistoric animals. If you did, please don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to our channel. Your support means the world to us and helps us continue creating fun and educational content for everyone to enjoy. Thank you for joining us on this journey through time, and we'll see you next time for more Paleo Logic.